Here is your Days of Our Lives recap for Thursday, August 21st, 2025. In the jury deliberation room, Leo lamented that there were once again 11 not guilty votes and 1 guilty vote. It turned out that Leo's roommate Adam was sure that Johnny DiMera shot his own father. Leo pointed out that there was no proof that Johnny shot EJ. Adam disagreed. Johnny admitted to going to his father's house and waving a gun around. That was proof enough for Adam. It's not so unusual for a son to want his father to fall off a perch, Adam said. As the rest of the jury ordered lunch, Leo took Adam aside for a chat. "Leo, I like you. You're a stand-up chap, but I'm not going to let you bully me into changing my vote to acquit Johnny," Adam said. Leo was sure they were going to end up with a hung jury, while Adam was sure he could convince 5 jurors to see his reasoning. Leo then gave them all a speech about reasonable doubt. This is not an episode of Law & Order. What we decide today has real-life consequences, not just for the defendant, but for every single person who showed up to testify in that courtroom. We owe it to them and to ourselves to deliver an actual verdict and not end up with a hung jury, Leo said. After lunch, Adam somehow managed to get the other jurors to agree that the rich and powerful of Salem had entered into a vast conspiracy and believed they were above the law. In Rachel's room at the DiMera mansion, Rachel questioned Marlena about how juries work. She was worried that Johnny would be convicted. "I wish there was something I could do to help him," Rachel said. She wished she knew who really shot Uncle EJ. Rachel noticed how sad Marlena looked and knew she was missing Grandpa John. "He always knew how to make things better," Rachel said. "I miss him so much, but I bet you miss him 1,001 times more," Marlena said that talking about John brought her comfort. She liked her memories of John. Rachel said that whenever she tried to remember things, her stomach hurt. Rachel also grew tired of hanging with Marlena and insisted they go downstairs and tell Kristen and EJ they had talked enough. Marlena stopped her, but Rachel worried that EJ was upset with her for breaking his paperweight. Rachel wanted to go downstairs in the worst way, so she claimed her snake escaped its cage to distract Marlena. While Marlena was trying to trap a snake, Rachel ran from her room. Marlena followed after her. Downstairs in the living room, EJ insisted to Kristen that he loved Rachel, but he couldn't allow Johnny to go to jail for a crime he didn't commit. Kristen asked how she could guarantee that the jury wouldn't convict Johnny. "Not my problem. That is all on you," EJ said. EJ pointed out that there was still time because the jury had not returned with a verdict yet. "Ever the DiMera." Kristen said, "Time to do what? It's not like I can bribe the judge at the point. The only thing we can do is wait and see what the jury decides. You already did a heck of a job tossing blame onto everybody who has a pulse in Salem. There's no way they're going to convict Johnny," Kristen said. EJ wished that she was right, but he wasn't so sure. "Johnny practically threw this case away when he decided to fire me and represent himself," EJ lamented. Kristen suggested that if Johnny were to be found guilty, they could buy more time to figure out the Rachel situation by filing an appeal. EJ wasn't willing to do that. Kristen tried to reason with EJ. "We need to take some time and figure out a solid plan so we can save both of them," Kristen said. EJ balked at the idea. "Let's not pretend we trust each other, Kristen. You're likely already coming up with ways to run off with your daughter and leave my son holding the bag," EJ accused. EJ and Kristen bickered back and forth for a few minutes as Kristen begged EJ to give her more time. EJ didn't believe they had any more time. "You need to take action before that jury comes back with a verdict," EJ spat. EJ insisted he would make sure the authorities knew that Rachel shot him by accident. "She's a child. It's not like she'll be doing hard time," he said. Kristen knew this, but she worried about Rachel's emotional well-being if she knew the truth. EJ was still focused on Johnny and told Kristen, "Find a way so both of our children don't have to suffer. Find a sacrificial lamb that isn't my son." Soon, Rachel came barreling into the living room with Marlena chasing after her. "Are you guys keeping a secret from me?" Rachel demanded to know. Before EJ could say much, Marlena got a text that the jury had reached a verdict. Brady walked in on Tate making plans with Holly over the phone. When Tate hung up, he embraced his father, while Brady commented that they never see one another anymore. Tate claimed to be excited about school starting, but was disappointed that the alleged adoptive parents wouldn't let him see his baby. Tate said he realized that might be for the best after the emotional moment when he and Sophia saw Ari with Tesoro. Sophia just got really upset being around another baby. All this has been hard on me, but it's been way harder on Sophia, Tate noted. I decided it's for the best if I just stopped obsessing over meeting my daughter. Brady was proud of Tate for considering Sophia's feelings ahead of his own. However, if you want to fight to see your daughter, you wouldn't necessarily have to involve Sophia in that, Brady said. Tate admitted Sophia might have been right all along, that meeting the baby would have made it more difficult to let go. So no more fixating on the baby. It's not good for Sophia. And no good for me, Tate concluded. As they talked some more, Tate decided that he wanted to get a job. Brady suggested they go to the Brady pub to see if Roman needed anyone. Brady was supposed to meet Sarah there anyway. At the Brady pub, Sarah approached Sophia and asked if they could talk. Sarah told Sophia she was still ethically bound to keep her secret, but she knew via her friendship with Brady that Tate was having a difficult time. Sophia said she wished she could tell Tate the truth, but she feared he would hate her. Sarah countered that Tate could be grateful and compassionate. He would know what you went through giving birth all alone. You would be giving him the closure that he desperately needs, Sarah said. Sophia was sure that Tate would think she was a terrible and heartless person for leaving the baby at a fire station. You left your baby in a perfectly safe space. It is why the drop-off program exists, Sarah insisted. Sophia also worried about her parents forcing her to take the baby back or cutting her off financially. Sophia said she wanted what was best for the baby, but seeing him all over town was like torture. I saw him twice yesterday, and one of the times I was with my mom. She said he looked just like my brother did when he was a baby, Sophia noted. Sarah asked Sophia about her plans for the future. Sophia said she planned to go to Salem U and hoped to grow closer to Tate. Sarah reminded Sophia that she was Holly's aunt and that Holly and Tate were back together again. For now, Sophia said, Holly and Tate are on and off all the time, so it's not going to be long until they're off again. When Brady and Tate got there, Brady told Sophia the adoptive parents wouldn't allow Tate to see the baby. Ah, that's too bad. Maybe they'll change their minds, and they can someday meet him, Sophia said. Brady questioned why she said him. Sophia covered for herself and said she just misspoke. After Sophia walked away, Brady remembered how surprised Sarah was when she heard Sophia had given birth to a girl in Chicago. After Tate handed in his job application, Sophia asked him to have lunch with her. She tried to cover her disappointment when he said he already had plans with Holly. When Tate left, Sophia asked for her own job application. At a table, Brady told Sarah that he couldn't stop thinking about Sophia's slip of the tongue. Isn't it kind of odd that she would just mistakenly refer to the baby as a boy? Brady asked. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. Brady comes home to Tate, who shares that the adoptive family won't let him see his daughter, but he's letting it go for Sophia's sake. Brady suggests he can still fight to see his baby without involving her. Tate knows, but worries that meeting his daughter would make it harder for him to move on. Brady respects his mature, thoughtful decision. Speaking of mature decisions, Tate talks about getting a job. Brady's meeting Sarah at the pub and invites him to come along to talk to Roman about working there again. Sarah sneaks up behind Sophia at the pub as she orders food at the bar. Sarah implores her to tell Tate the truth about their baby and give him the closure that he needs. Sophia doesn't want him to hate her. Plus, there's her mom, who could screw up her future by making her keep the baby. Sophia looks forward to going to Salem U with Tate. Sarah reminds her that Tate is still involved with Holly. For now, Sophia says. Sarah suggests Sophia make a fresh start and move on from Tate. But Sophia has no plans to do that. When Brady and Tate arrive, the teen goes off to apply for a job. Sarah awkwardly stands by as Brady brings up the baby. Sophia slips and calls her him, which Brady picks up on. When she steps away to check on her takeout, Brady notes how weird that was, but Sarah dismisses it. Brady flashes back to Sarah questioning him when he told her Sophia gave birth to a girl. Tate turns in his application to the bartender and heads out to meet Holly, thus declining Sophia's request to join her for lunch. So, Sophia asks the bartender for a job application for herself. At a table with Sarah, Brady fixates on Sophia's slip of the tongue. After the 12 jurors take a vote, Leo explodes over the nitwit, who is the lone guilty vote. Who's that juror, you ask? Leo's wholesome roommate in sequestration, Adam, who vehemently believes Johnny DiMera shot his own father. Leo takes a slow breath and, with an unnervingly calm tone, calls for a break. As the others place lunch orders, he holds Adam back for a chat. Close talker. Adam won't let Leo bully him into changing his vote. He's confident he can change everyone's mind, thus avoiding a hung jury. As Adam cites law and order as proof it can be done, Leo breaks. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Though taken aback by Leo's outburst, Adam won't be swayed. He will convince the rest of the jury that Johnny is guilty if it's the last thing he does. After lunch, Adam makes an impassioned speech, questioning hypnosis and that quack doctor, but Leo will not stand for the besmirching of Dr. Marlena Evans's good name. No matter, Adam cannot let Salims, rich and powerful, think they're above the law. Leo scowls as the jurors whisper to each other. A new vote reveals a 50-50 split. Adam delights and makes another argument, which brings another juror to his side. Leo calls for another vote. In the DiMera living room, EJ instructs Kristen to find a way to ensure the jury finds Johnny innocent, or else he'll have no choice but to turn Rachel in. As they argue, Kristen asks for more time, but EJ points out the jury is deliberating. There is no more time. It's too late to bribe the judge, so what? Is Kristen supposed to pin it on an innocent person? EJ thinks it's a fine idea because it's already happening right now. Find a sacrificial lamb that isn't my son, he demands. He suggests Ava, but Kristen doesn't think that would fly. In Rachel's bedroom, Marlena tries to keep her granddaughter distracted from wanting to return downstairs. Rachel eventually catches on and pretends her snake escaped its cage. As Marlena reluctantly searches for it, Rachel slips out of her room. With Marlena in pursuit, Rachel runs into the living room to ask her mother and uncle if they are keeping a secret from her. Is EJ mad at her for telling the truth at Johnny's trial? As EJ assures Rachel she's done nothing wrong, Marlena gets a text from Belle. The jury has reached a verdict. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Rachel Black may save Kristen DiMera from Statesville with 6 tearful words. Once awful memories rush back, Rachel may realize she's responsible for EJ DiMera's shooting and for Kristen's decision to take the fall. Kristen considered pinning this on another innocent party, but she knew vengeful Ava Vitali would come back to expose her lie if she tried to blame her. There aren't really any other good options when it comes to immediate frame-up candidates, so Kristen knows pointing the finger at herself is the best option. Unfortunately, EJ wasn't willing to roll the dice on the jury's verdict, so he backed Kristen into a corner. That's why Days spoilers say Rachel's in for a shock following Kristen's courtroom confession and arrest drama. Since Kristen looked Rachel in the eye and swore she wasn't the one who shot EJ, her sudden story change will leave Rachel confused and upset. Rachel knows Kristen incredibly well, so Days spoilers suggest she may sense that something's off. Of course, Rachel will also freak out over her beloved mother going back to Statesville. This isn't Kristen's first rodeo when it comes to prison sentences, so Rachel will hate the idea of missing out on even more time with her. DOOL fans know Marlena Evans believes Rachel is suffering from dissociative amnesia, so Rachel blocked out the memory of accidentally firing at EJ since it was too painful. However, Kristen's ordeal may get the ball rolling on bringing the full version of events to Rachel's mind. The trauma of losing Kristen to prison again will be horrible too, so that could help spark a memory flood and click things into place for Rachel. Whether this happens before Kristen's prison transport or after she's settled in Statesville, Rachel may help spare her from life behind bars. Following a memory comeback, Days viewers could see Rachel take action and save Kristen from prison with just 6 tearful words. I shot EJ, not my mom. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Marlena may back Rachel up and support her detailed story adjustment. So stay tuned for all the stunning news to come for her granddaughter. It's looking like an exciting Friday in Salem. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the August 22nd, 2025 episode tease an unexpected twist as Johnny's trial comes to a close. It looks like Kristen will arrive just in the nick of time to save Johnny from a possible guilty verdict and Rachel from an attempted murder charge. All rise for Leo to announce the verdict. Kristen barges into the courtroom to save both Johnny and her daughter. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Thursday, August 21st, hint at some major moments in the land of Salem. A mother pleads for their child, while a father comforts his son, and someone is encouraged to tell the truth. What's set to go down on Thursday? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, August 21st imply that Kristen DiMera will plead with EJ DiMera for more time. Now that he knows Rachel Black was the one to shoot him, he'll be desperate to reveal the truth to save his own son, Johnny DiMera, as soon as possible. EJ has gone to extreme lengths to exonerate Johnny, so he may not listen to what Kristen has to say. Speaking of Rachel, she'll be with Marlena Evans, and the grandmother will do all she can to distract her granddaughter. In related news, Leo Stark will preside over the deliberation of jury votes. How will the jury sway in Johnny's case? Across town, Brady Black will comfort Tate Black. There's a small chance they've been brought into the loop about Rachel, and this is probably about the fact that Tate is still reeling from not getting to meet his baby girl. Although fans know that Sophia Choi didn't have a baby girl, but rather a baby boy. And Tate has met him, since his son is little T Tesoro, the newborn Leo. And Javi Hernandez are taken care of. Will Tate get over this or continue to push the issue? Finally, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday suggest that Sarah Horton Kyriakis will try to convince Sophia to tell the truth, but will she? Sarah is bound by HIPAA to stay quiet, so Sarah's talk to Sophia may be futile, considering the circumstances. What are you looking forward to most during Thursday's show? Comment below. Watch your favorite Peacock soap daily and check out SOS often for the best Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and updates. Where does Brady fit in? Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, August 22nd bring a verdict for Johnny's trial. Meanwhile, EJ has ammunition to exonerate his son. Kristen begs Marlena for help with her daughter, and Brady wonders what Sarah knows about his. EJ has finally remembered who shot him. It was Rachel. That's the she he was trying to protect. EJ was also trying to protect his son. Now the jury, led by Leo of all people, is about to render a verdict. EJ has ammunition to save his son. Will he do it? Kristen doesn't care what Rachel did, who she shot, or why. Rachel is the best girl who ever lived, and she deserves to be protected the same way that everyone else deserves to suffer in order to make that happen. While Kristen doesn't care about her nephew, she expects EJ to put his niece ahead of his own son. She expects the same from Marlena as well. Sure, Johnny is her grandson, but Rachel is her step-granddaughter, so saving her is the least Marlena can do. Sarah cares about Rachel too. Most of the time, this drives Kristen crazy. But if she can use it to her advantage, Kristen is happy to appeal to Rachel's almost mother. The same goes for Brady. He and Sarah have been growing closer lately, and Rachel is a part of that. So when Brady has questions about what's going on with his little girl, and not just Kristen, but also Marlena, are stonewalling him, Sarah might be all he has. Maybe she can get through to Rachel in a way nobody else can. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of August 25th suggest some twists and turns. Fans can expect Kristen DiMera to make a sacrifice for her daughter. However, Rachel Black still needs serious help. Plus, Philip Kyriakis gets into bed with someone. Keep reading and let's discuss what is coming up next week in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Kristen, who can no longer ignore the fact that her daughter is the one who really shot EJ DiMera. However, Rachel is also still a little girl, and clearly just wanted EJ to give the location of her missing grandmother. At the same time, Rachel has probably seen and experienced too much to ever be a normal kid. Kristen will freak out in court, and a bailiff ends up holding her back. It sounds like Kristen will make a sacrifice to save her daughter. Even if Kristen does go to prison, there is still Rachel to deal with. It's interesting that Marlena Evans is taking a leave of absence from the hospital. It sounds like Marlena might try to fix Rachel. I wonder if Kat Green will help Marlena out with this. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of August 25th reveal that Johnny DiMera will be found not guilty. The man will celebrate with his wife, Chanel Dupree DiMera. However, what will come next for them now? Fans will also see Steve Johnson's investigation heat up. That could pit Steve against Stephanie Johnson. I could see them having a bit of a feud over this situation. It also seems that Philip is poised to land in bed with Gabby Hernandez. However, she could go too far in her attempt to score intel for Tony DiMera. The man just offered too tasty of a deal to Gabby. Tony knows how much Gabby has always loved being in charge at DiMera Enterprises. While there seems to be a contract in place, I worry that Tony might end up screwing Gabby in the end. After all, the only reason Tony went to Gabby was because nobody else in the family wanted to be part of it. So once the dust settles, Gabby could find herself facing a loss once again. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of August 25th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives sees E.J. DiMera is feeling hopeless about his son Johnny DiMera. But the big question is, has E.J. lost Johnny for good, or can he smooth things over? We're going to talk about the only way for E.J. to undo the damage he's done and keep his son in his life. We all know E.J. has screwed up royally with Johnny this time. You would think E.J. was at a low point in his son's eyes when Johnny found out E.J. raped Sammy Brady. But now, it feels like Johnny is on the cusp of walking away from E.J. once and for all. Not that what E.J. did to Chanel Brady was worse than the other stuff he's done, like with Sammy, but it's just one thing after another with E.J. Johnny is finally at his limit of tolerance. He has fired E.J. as his defense lawyer over the deep fake video of Chanel making those alleged death threats. Basically, E.J. risked putting Chanel behind bars. And that's not the only person Johnny cares about that E.J. has risked recently. Those courtroom antics he's been up to have turned Johnny's stomach. Even though he knows E.J.'s just trying to keep him out of prison, the question is at what cost? Is E.J. saving Johnny? For E.J., the answer is any cost. He will pay any cost. He will lose anything to save his son. Not only did E.J. force Johnny to confess on the stand that his aunt Belle Black was involved with E.J., but now Johnny knows it was E.J. who sent the expertly doctored video of Chanel to D.A. Belle as evidence in the case. And now, it's all backfired on Elvis Jr. Johnny fired his dad as his attorney, and he's representing himself in the last stages of his trial, which, of course, are the most crucial to keep him out of prison. E.J. is all torn up about how this is going. It's the last straw. Johnny cannot deal with E.J.'s awful behavior. What he's done cost Chanel and Johnny a chance to adopt Tate Black and Sophia Choi's baby. Then E.J.'s first night of sex with Sammy Brady came out to Johnny, even though everybody else already knew it. That left his son hurt and angry towards E.J. Then Johnny refused to sign adoption papers when Chanel had gone all out to convince Sophia to still let them raise her baby. That all led up to Johnny stealing Grandpa Roman Brady's gun and waving it in E.J.'s face while confronting him. Had it not been for all of that garbage that E.J. did, Johnny wouldn't have been there. He would never have touched the gun. He wouldn't be falsely accused of shooting E.J. right now. Even after all that happened, Johnny cooled off and let E.J. back into his life. That's because he thought Johnny shot him, but E.J. was still doing all he could to protect him. That really shocked Johnny. He thought, "Oh wow, Dad thought I shot him and he still wants to be there." So it did make an impression. Of course, then Gabby Hernandez told Rafe Hernandez what she heard. He told Jada Hunter, and she arrested Johnny with zero physical evidence against him for the shooting. Then Johnny hired his dad, E.J., as his defense attorney, which is an oddball move for the shooting victim to represent the accused. But this is Days of Our Lives, and stranger things have happened. While Johnny's DA Aunt Belle has been professional, E.J. DiMera has been consistently playing dirty. After forcing Johnny to out him and Belle as boyfriend and girlfriend on the stand, Elvis Jr. demanded a mistrial because of Belle's conflict of interest. The lady judge saw right through EJ's BS, and she refused the mistrial. But that also cost EJ his relationship with Belle. Of course, Johnny was embarrassed. He told Belle he was sorry he said anything. She was really nice and reminded Johnny he was under oath, so he had to tell the truth. It wasn't his fault. It was all on EJ. Then, with Chanel on the stand, Johnny told his dad to go easy on his wife. But EJ was not going to stop playing dirty or doing whatever he had to do until Johnny was acquitted. That's when his son decided he's done. He point-blank told EJ he has forced him into a position to choose either Chanel or him. Johnny said he will always choose his wife over EJ. That tampered video made Chanel look so bad. If you believed it was legit, which Belle did, you saw Chanel threatening to kill EJ. But Chanel didn't remember saying a lot of those things in the video. Of course, she was at EJ's house that night, so it's confusing. She didn't make the threats. She didn't shoot EJ. But the video definitely introduces reasonable doubt because it presents Chanel as a possible alternate shooter. Johnny is also certain that EJ has an insider at the Salem PD, like the technical lab or something. They should have spotted that the video was a deep fake. Instead, they said it was legit. So the big question, the overarching question, what's next? Has EJ lost Johnny forever? EJ is very worried that he has. He just told Tony DiMera how bad it is between him and Johnny. Right now, EJ has two worries. One, that Johnny's going to go to prison when he didn't shoot him. And even if he had shot him, EJ didn't want him in prison. The second worry is that Johnny will never talk to him again. Tony advised EJ, "Don't act like our dad. Be better. Throw yourself on Johnny's mercy." He told EJ to admit that he made a huge mistake and beg for his forgiveness. Then, of course, Belle salted the wound and said EJ deserved all the bad things coming his way. She said he deserved to be completely alone. The real killer is revealed on Tuesday's Days of Our Lives. That's the day you're watching this video, if you watch it when we first put it out. I do believe our leaker was correct. It was little Rachel Black. Depending on when you're reading this, you may have already seen this. EJ should be feeling even worse that he's such a jerk that a kid shot him. Thankfully, not his own kid. I doubt that the reveal of the shooter as Rachel would soften Johnny's stance on his dad, though. It doesn't change what EJ tried to do to Chanel, or how EJ hurt his Aunt Belle. It doesn't change how he had already hurt Johnny's mom, Sammy Brady. I wonder if EJ and Johnny's relationship can ever be the same after all of this. We know Kristen DiMera is heading to Statesville Prison soon to protect the actual shooter, her daughter Rachel, most likely. So what's going to happen by the end of the week? We already know the shooter on Tuesday. Then by Friday, the jury has reached their verdict. The foreperson, Leo Stark, is ready to read off the verdict. That's when EJ is about to cause a ruckus. Kristen bursts into the courtroom and causes a ruckus. It looks like she is going to confess. Even though she didn't do the shooting, her kid did. In the end, Johnny is going to be able to shake off the attempted murder rap and avoid prison time because of Kristen's confession. But Johnny may still refuse to let EJ back into his life. And I wonder if he's right, and maybe he shouldn't. Although I love those dimples, and I feel bad for EJ. Kristen is behind it all. Soap Hub predicted Rachel as EJ's shooter on Days of Our Lives over a week ago, and the August 20th episode just confirmed our suspicions. Here's why, as the song goes, we knew it was Rachel all along. First, we've been watching soaps for a long time, and when even my non-Days of Our Lives watching husband noticed to ask, why do they keep playing that kid? It was pretty obvious where the story was going. Second, pinning the crime on a kid means the show could have their cake and eat it too. They could claim they played fair and the shooter was a regular character, not some random stranger passing through with no connection to the victim, while at the same time, not having to get rid of a key, adult Salem citizen. Rachel will likely just get a slap on the wrist, followed by an ice cream cone and a reminder that she's the best girl ever, if she has to face any consequences at all. And that brings us to why we really knew this would be Rachel. EJ remembered who tried to kill him when Rachel insisted on playing with a glass paperweight, even after Marlena told her not to, and then was shocked when she ended up dropping and breaking it. Rachel was stunned by what had happened, She couldn't understand how it had happened, and she certainly couldn't understand why anyone would blame her for it. And that's Rachel. She is chastised not to do something. She does it anyway. Because she's Rachel, and Kristen has made it clear to her that she can do whatever she wants, and anyone who tries to hinder her in any way is just a tool of the patriarchy. And then, when it goes wrong, she's been told that nothing is ever her fault, so she's confused why anyone might want to punish her for it. Rachel shot EJ, but Kristen was the one who made her into a spoiled brat. And a killer. This isn't even Rachel's first time.